Okay, we're going to talk today about graphing circles in a coordinate plane. My writing might be a little weird because my pen stylus isn't working, so I'm going to be writing with my finger. So we're going to talk about what a standard form of a circle is, how to write the equation of a circle, and how to graph a circle. So I'm going to, if I want to graph this quadratic, okay, remember that our vertex from last year is at negative h and k. So it would be at 3, negative 5. Okay. So if I go to 3, negative 5, I'm going to put a point there. And then it opens, or sorry, it should be at 3, positive 5. That'd me. And I'm going to put a point there, go over 1, down 1, over 2, down 4, and so on and so forth. And you might be asking, why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this because we're going to be graphing equations of the circle the same way. So this is the general form of an equation of a circle. X minus h, that quantity squared, plus y minus k, that quantity squared, equals the radius squared. And our center is going to be at h and r is our radius. So if I want to write an equation of a circle with the center at 6, negative 9, with a radius of 5. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. So if I just sub in, I'm going to get x minus 6 squared plus y minus a negative 9 squared equals 5 squared. So that's just going to simplify down to x minus 6 squared plus y plus 9, that whole thing squared, equal to 25. Okay. So if I want to write it now, I have a standard equation of the circle with a center at the point 7, negative 2, and through this point 1, negative 6. Now I've got the center, what I don't have is the radius. But if I've got my circle with a center and then a point on it, I can find the radius just by using the distance formula. So remember that the distance formula you guys love so much, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. All right, and when we take the square root of that. So in this case, I'm going to have 1 minus 7 squared plus negative 6 minus negative 2 squared. And that's going to equal negative 6 squared plus negative 4 squared, or 36 plus 16, which would give us 52. Okay, so now in our equation, okay, that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So plugging in, my center was at 7, negative 2, so x minus 7 squared plus y minus a negative 2 gives us plus 2 squared equals, and if I square the square root of 52, I'm just going to get 52. So there is the equation of my circle. And now the stylus is working. All right, so plus 2 squared. All right. So we have to do a couple intermediate steps. So now if I have to write the equation of a circle whose diameter has endpoints of negative 7, negative 17, and negative 9, negative 11, I have to find the center, and then I have to find the radius. So to find the center, if that's my diameter, this would be our midpoint. So we're kind of reviewing some of those formulas that you might see on the SOL. So remember, the midpoint is going to equal x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So in this case, negative 7 plus a negative 9 divided by 2, and negative 17 plus a negative 11 divided by 2. So that's going to give me negative 16 halves and negative 28 halves, or negative 8 and negative 14. Okay, so now that I have a midpoint, that's my center. So in my equation, I'm going to just plug that in. So I'm going to get x plus 8 squared plus y minus the negative 14 is plus 14 squared. And now we just have to find the radius. So to find the radius, I'm going to use my midpoint, and I'm going to pick one of my points. I'm just going to pick the first point here to use, and I'm going to throw it into the distance formula again. Okay, so my x's, the difference of those, negative 7 minus a negative 8 squared plus difference of my y's, negative 17 plus or minus a negative 14, which would be plus 14 squared. This will become pluses as well. So negative 7 plus 8 is going to be 1 squared, plus negative 17 plus 14 is going to be negative 3 squared. So I'm going to get 1 plus 9, or the square root of 10. If I square that, I just get 10. So there's the equation of my circle with those conditions. So now I've got a circle graphed. So we've looked at all kinds of ways to writing. So the first thing I have to do is I have to find my center. I kind of like to find the symmetry in it and see where that intersects. So it's going to intersect right here. So that's my center at the point 3, negative 1. And then my radius is 1, 2, 3. So my radius is 3. So if I write my equation, again, the x minus h squared, and yes, you have to memorize it. I'm not going to give it to you. Y minus k squared equals r squared. So x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 3 squared, which is 9. And there's the equation of that circle. Okay, let's now graph. Okay, so I've got 16 equals x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared. So my center is going to be at 3, and remember it's always opposites when I'm inside parentheses, minus 2. If r squared is 16, r is 4. So 3, negative 2, the center is going to be right here. And then from that center, I go right, left, up, and down 4 places. So here, 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 and here. And I just draw my circle the best I can by connecting those points. That's not a very good circle. Let's try that again. Sometimes they say if you do it from the bottom, you draw a better circle. So there's my circle. You can use your compass if you want. Get it even better. Okay, just as a refresher, my standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals, it should be r squared. Okay, and h and k is our center, and r is our radius. Have a great day, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.